Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Sonny here, coming at you guys with another Neverwinter video. And by the title and thumbnail, you already know why you clicked on. We are going to be making a module tier list. Now, I've seen a lot of people do these on YouTube, and I was like, man, fuck it. Why not make my own for modules? I might do a dungeon one in the near future. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't see why not. I think these are pretty fun. Hopefully, you guys do enjoy it. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Now, I have these in order from, well, I think somehow this got mixed up here. So, boom. And then, boom. Okay. I know the rest of the top part is in order. Now, unfortunately, here on console, I did not get to play mod 1, 2, 3, 4. And on console, we jump straight into module 5, which is the Rise of Tiamat. And I'm going to put this one. You already know. If you played module 5, that's GOAT status, bro. Running Tiamat, running dragons, running dungeons, running encounters. This was Neverwinter at its peak, in my opinion. There was just so much you could do. There was never a dull moment. You can literally just stay in the Well of Dragons all day if you chose to. Because, you know, the Rise of Tiamat door, you had to be at the door. And, you know, people would go in. So, overall, it was just a really good-ass time. Moving on, Elemental Evil. Okay? Now, this caused a big discrepancy within the Neverwinter community. The level 60 to 70 grind was busted, okay? But they did introduce some nice elements. You know, raising the level cap wasn't a bad idea, okay? Because you have to progress a game like this. You can't keep it stagnant. You can't keep it still. You can't keep everything the same. So I understand where they were coming from. My apologies. But they could have executed that a hell of a lot better. Strongholds. This is another GOAT tier status. You won't find too many players out there without being in a guild. So you got to put it at the GOAT tier status. Now, back in the day when this came out, there wasn't any alliances and stuff like that. But you still got to interact within a guild. You know, this is where I started really expanding my range with playing with people. Obviously, you're in a guild. You're playing with other people from around the world. It didn't matter. And it was another good time, you know. Contributing to a stronghold and seeing you make your way up there was an accomplishment in and of itself. So definitely GOAT tier status, in my opinion. Underdark. This was major love. I'll give Underdark major love. I enjoyed Epic Demo. I enjoyed regular Demo. I enjoyed the new weapon set you could acquire from Demo itself. You know, you could get the +5 rings from the chest. So it wasn't a bad time. All in all, it was a very good time. Now, the maze engines, I hate extensions. As you guys know, if you've seen any of my previous discussion videos about modules, I just hate extensions. Like, I don't like when they just give you just extended campaign from that previous module. Just give me that all in one module. Don't give me half a mod and count it as a mod. So you're telling me 2 mods is 1 mod then. So I waited almost a whole year for 1 module? No, you're trash. And now this did give you the demo set, but which is the best set in the game for damage, but still, other than that, it's trash. Storm King's Thunder, major love there. Can't find too many faults. I loved running FBI. Vaughn and Blood, running encounters, getting the gear. Was a good time. You know, it gave you something to do. There wasn't no way to rush through it, okay? You know, going to different zones and different encounters. That's what I like to see. They had Brian Sharndar. They had Lonely Wood. I think they had like 3 or 4 new zones, plus a dungeon, and plus new gear and all that extra stuff. Did they come out with a new weapon set for FBI? Scratch that. No new weapon set, new rings, and everything else. So definitely major love. I had a lot of fun within that. Cloak Descendancy. This was another one. Major love there. Spell Plague, not a bad dungeon. The new zone itself wasn't that bad. Running the ship was pretty cool. The thing I liked about this dungeon was its uniqueness for the weapon set. This is the module that stood out the most to me because there was a weapon set for each class. Okay, there was a DPS, there was a support, and then there was one for tanks, and then there was another one. I believe there's like 4 different weapon sets you could acquire in this module. And I wish they would have expanded upon that one and brought it continuously over to the previous modules. I think that would have been a huge success. I know it's probably a little bit more work, but having everybody run the same set is a little boring. With this idea, the cleric would run their own, the tank would run their own, and then DPS, and they all had different bonuses. Okay, so just a great time. That was a really good idea. Wish Neverwinter would have carried along. No point in digressing. Moving on. Tomb of Annihilation. Major love. There was a lot of shit to do. And that's what I look forward in a mod, okay? A lot of things to do and the execution. And Tomb was not a bad execution. Running Tomb of the Nine Gods was a lot of fun. Farming the hunt pieces was fun. Doing the dragons, the dinosaurs, right? Getting gear, getting your hunt gear, doing the Rex, getting rings, +5 rings. These were all things that could be done in this module. So there was a lot of things to do here. Lost City of Omu. It's just another extension. Now, I won't put this one at trash. I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to tell you why. Okay? This did bring CODG, Cradle of the Death God. That did take a little bit of skill. It wasn't as high of a ceiling as Tom is at the moment, but you definitely needed to stay on the platform. And once you mastered that, obviously, it got a hell of a lot easier. But it did also introduce new zones as well as new hunts for better gear, okay? So that's why I'll put this at a right. I won't put it at decent or trash. It's fine right here. Moving on, Ravenloft. Now, this is another exception. This is not a spin-off of any module. This is a completely new module that was just completely trash, in my opinion. I'm going to break it down for you. CRL was the worst dungeon within Neverwinter when it first came out. It was Castle Scrolls. It was the most bugged out dungeon in the game. Even if you put your sword up at the end, sometimes it didn't work. And, the sisters wouldn't, the one time, every time I ran, it seemed the one sister always had that extra bit of health. You would notice a difference when both sisters would have health bar displayed on top instead of the one sister having the health bar displayed right above her. That was a glitch. That wasn't intended to be like that. The Barovian hunts were not a bad idea, but then came the massive wave that fucking stunned Neverwinter as a whole. I don't want to get too much into detail. If you were there, you already know. It affected everybody. I don't care what anybody said. Everybody did it. And for them to do what they did, it wasn't right. Regardless if it's in the terms of services, I don't want to go too much into detail with that one. But that definitely hurt Neverwinter. It hurt me. I mean, honestly, it affected me. Now, I'm still here, obviously. But, there's a lot of good people out there who this affected. And, if that didn't happen, I'd still put it at trash, to be honest with you. Because the dungeon itself was trash. The only good thing that came from this, in my opinion, was the Swarm mount. And I'm a huge vampire fan. That's the thing. I love vampires. I love werewolf. I love the dark element. I love Dracula. The execution wasn't there. They did a horrible job with this one. Moving on, Heart of Fire, another trash module. Still haven't completed. Still haven't done. All you got was a stupid skirmish. I finally ran it because they put it in the queues. And it was boring. It was like you literally, there's like 4 different sides, and it was just a disaster in my opinion. So it was trash. You didn't get anything spectacular. Some boons. You did get a free rank 14, but it's nothing to brag about. Moving on, Undermountain. I'm gonna say it was decent. I did enjoy LOM. They introduced Mies and everything like that. The only problem was it got very repetitive quickly. And that's the only issue I had there. There wasn't as many things as in the major love category. These usually I put in a tier, where they had a dungeon, right? They had plenty of things to do. This one had a dungeon and Mies. Okay? Now, you did farm encounters for the Mies, but if you just join people who are posting, you don't even have to touch the encounters to farm stuff for the Mies. So you didn't even have to do them. It wasn't necessary to do the encounters. You could literally just join a group, or if you had a buddy who did it on his own, right? Then you could just link up with that buddy anytime you needed to run them. Uprising, it's got to go in the trash. I'm sorry. It's just another extension of Undermountain. And when I mean extension, I just mean literally it could have been 2 mods. This one should have been 2 mods, just like Lost City of Omu and Tomb of Annihilation should have been 2 mods. The only difference here is it definitely incorporated way more than Uprising. Now, Uprising did bring Tom, but Tom is one of those dungeons where it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people who still haven't even completed it once. And it's not like they're bad. They're not bad. It's just the dungeon itself. I don't really see too many people posting for it anymore. A lot of people have groups already made for the dungeon. Like, you know, they have a set group of people, or they have a set group of people that they interchange, you know. Oh, well, this guy's leaving. Well, this guy hopped on, so just bring him in here. You know what I mean? So it's just the same people running with each other. Very rarely do they bring in anybody new. So, and then with me's, we's, and fees added onto it, no, you're crazy. That was just way too much. That was just fucking nails on the chalkboard for me. Doing me's, we's, and fees, and then just that small little zone was just, it was just lackluster. And of course, like I said, if you want to know what do I think about mod 18, I already made a video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, I might do one about dungeons. I'm not 100% sure yet. I thought this was pretty cool and fun, you know, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. And as always, it's been your boy Sonny here, and I will check you guys out in the next one. Peace out.